If you would like to watch it again, or if someone else couldn't be here today and would like to see this video. So we are recording now. Oh, very good. Hi, Carla, welcome. Nice to meet you. Okay, 1 minute. Need to send the link, just 1 minute. Okay, so this is the first of our 4 wellness tips for quarantine talks. And let me start by introducing myself. My name is Anna Cupin. I have lots of props. I am originally from the United States. I have lived in Bolivia since 2002, so for 18 years. I moved to Bolivia after college, after finishing university. I have a bachelor's degree, which is a licenciatura in biology. I lived for many years in Montero, Santa Cruz. Hi, Sara. Welcome. Nice to meet you. Hi, Caroline. Very good. So I lived for many years in Montero, in Santa Cruz, and I attended, hi Romy, nice to meet you. I attended the Gabriel René Moreno Autonomous University in Santa Cruz, and I studied Hispanic philology, Filología Hispánica, which includes linguistics, but also literature, history, and other cultural aspects of the Spanish language. And I have lived in La Paz for the last 4 years, and I have been teaching at the CBA since March of this year. I started teaching 2 days before we started quarantine. I live in Miraflores with my dog, Jackson. So the format for these talks, both today, but also the other 3 Saturdays, will be like a roundtable discussion. I hope that you feel comfortable asking any questions or making comments or adding to the things that I will say today. It's really important that you feel comfortable enough to practice your English. You are the advanced students, so please don't worry about making things perfect. If you have a question, if you have a comment, just go ahead and try. This is the best way that we learn language, is practicing. So I hope that you will have some questions or some comments at the end or in the middle if you'd like. Hi, Noelia, welcome. So in each of these talks, every Saturday, I will focus on a different aspect of wellness. Today, we are going to talk about physical health. And then in the following weeks, we will talk about mental and emotional health, spiritual health, and then the last Saturday in August, we will talk about service, how we can help others during this time. And in each talk, I will mention 4 aspects, 4 tips on the kind of wellness that we are talking about that day. These are based on things I have read and things that I have experienced myself. And if you can add to them, that would be wonderful. So I hope that together we can get through this difficult time, because quarantine is difficult. It is difficult to live like this, but I hope we can learn some new things in the process. I want to start by saying I am not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I am not going to talk about COVID-19 or coronavirus or the way that it is spread or the best way to protect yourself from it or how to recover if you do get sick. That's not my field of expertise. I think we all know the basics. Try to stay at home, wash your hands, wear a mask, and try to stay at least 2 meters apart from other people if you go outside. Rather, in these tips on physical health, I hope to help give you some ideas about how to stay healthy while we stay at home during quarantine. So I hope they're helpful. Tip number 1, liquids. It is always important for our physical health to try to drink as much water as possible. I know that drinking water for me isn't something that comes naturally, so I always have to make an effort to remember to drink water throughout the day. The recommended daily amount of water for adults is 8 glasses per day, which is it's a little bit more than 2 liters. So you can purchase water to keep track of how much water you're drinking. You can get a water bottle that has measurements to keep track of how much water you've been drinking. But it isn't necessary to buy water. The water that comes out of our taps in our kitchens is good for drinking, but it is a good idea to boil it first, just to make sure that it is as healthy as possible. If you are going to boil your water, it is a very good idea to store it in a glass container as opposed to a plastic one. Glass doesn't break down when we put warm or even sort of hot water in it, whereas plastic is a little bit less healthy. Sometimes there are particles of the plastic that can break away if we put warm or hot water into the container. So if you boil your water, it is best to try to find a glass container to store it in. Hello, Jose, welcome. So the best way to stay hydrated is to drink water, but you can also drink other liquids to stay healthy. One very good liquid is fruit juice, like this mandarin. And the best way to drink fruit juice is to juice it yourself, because then you don't lose any of those really important vitamins and minerals. Hi, Alexandra, welcome. You can also drink tea, herbal tea or regular tea. And if you do drink tea, especially since it's so cold at night now, it is really good to drink your tea with a little bit of lemon, and if you can, with a little bit of ginger. Ginger and lemon are both very good for our immune system. They help us to keep our immune system healthy. You can also get good liquid intake from bottled sports drinks, even soda. You can get bottled juice. This is orange juice. But you don't have to buy things. Really, the best thing for our bodies is water. So that's tip number 1, stay hydrated. Drink lots of liquids, especially water. Tip number 2, good, healthy food. It's always important to eat good, healthy food throughout our lives, but especially now. Recent studies have shown that obesity or even being mildly overweight can affect so many aspects of our lives. And it can even affect how much COVID-19 might affect us physically if we do get sick. So people that are overweight tend to be more affected by certain illnesses, and one of them is COVID-19. Also, because we are in quarantine, we're getting less exercise because we're staying at home, so it's even more important to watch what we eat. Whole fruits and whole vegetables are excellent, high-quality foods. You can cook your vegetables if you like them that way, but if you like them raw, they are actually even healthier if we don't cook them. So raw carrots, celery, lettuce, tomato. And also, did you know that the peel, the outside part of most fruit and most vegetables, is actually where the majority of the vitamins and minerals are stored. So if you can eat your fruits and vegetables without peeling them, it's actually even healthier. Citrus fruits like grapefruits, oranges, mandarins, and lemons are high in vitamin C, which has been proven to help the body to fight infection and other sicknesses. Eating red meat, like beef or pork, is okay, but it's a good idea to try to limit red meat to a few times a week, 2 or 3 or maybe 4 times a week. You can substitute with other protein sources like chicken, and especially fish and other seafood, which are very high in minerals and other nutrients. But you can also substitute with eggs and nuts, like peanuts and walnuts. Those are also very good sources of protein. Also, another good source of protein is beans. So soybeans, lentils, black beans, red beans, those are all very good sources of protein. It is a good idea to try to limit your sugar intake, both by trying not to eat too much candy, chocolate, cookies, but also to replace regular white sugar with honey or raw sugar, brown sugar. If you can replace your white sugar with those, that's a good start. Carbohydrates like pasta and rice and potatoes and anything made out of flour like bread and cookies and cake. Carbohydrates are good for our bodies because they give us energy, but we shouldn't eat them in very high quantities because they can build up in our system. Also, it's good to avoid fried foods and anything that is high in fat. Health experts say that drinking a little bit of wine occasionally, a few times a week, or even every night, but a very small quantity, can be good for our blood pressure and our health, but it's important to be careful and not overdo it and not drink too much. You can also add a multivitamin to your daily diet if you think that you are not getting all the vitamins and minerals that you need from your food. Hi, Naomi, welcome. Hi, Claudia, nice to meet you, welcome. So that was tip number 2, good healthy food. Tip number 3, move it. Exercise is so important for our health. It improves our blood flow, our blood circulation. It helps with digestion. It helps with our emotional well-being. It helps us to sleep better, and it even helps our brain function, especially during this difficult time when we sometimes can't get out as much as we usually do. We may find that we are not getting very much exercise at all. We are working from home or doing our classes online like right now, and we're also watching a lot of TV. So we spend a lot of time in front of a screen, sitting down, not moving, which can hurt our bodies and it can also hurt our eyes. The good news is that there are many ways to include exercise in our daily routines, even during quarantine. Are there children in your house? Are there kids in your house? Maybe your own children or your brothers and sisters or your nieces and nephews. Children need even more exercise than adults do. So take them out into the yard and play a game with them, or take them for a walk. Hi, Liliana, welcome. But if you do take a walk, don't forget, you need a mask, and so does the child that's with you. Our pets need exercise too. If you have a dog like I do, try to take them for a walk once a day or more times a day if you can. The dog will love it, and it will be good exercise for you. Did you know that you can even take your cat for a walk? I know it sounds strange, but if you get a special harness, harness for a cat, you can take your cat for a walk. I have a good friend who takes her cat for a walk every day. If you like to garden, even if you just have some plants in your house, It's very good exercise to get outside in the garden, move the soil or the dirt around, water the plants, and just try to make the outside of your house a little more beautiful. That's always very good exercise. Also, cleaning your house is good exercise. Sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, washing your clothes. Those are all good forms of exercise. And you can also find lots of exercise videos on YouTube. They have all different kinds of dance exercises and aerobic exercises and yoga. You can find just about anything on YouTube. But the most important and the easiest thing that you can do to exercise during this time is to walk. So walk to the store, walk around the block with your dog, walk around your house if you don't want to leave your house, but try to walk as much as you can. And tip number 4, the last one, sleep. In our modern culture, we have gotten used to equating productivity with a lack of sleep. We think of very successful people and assume that they must not get much sleep in order to do all the things they do. But getting enough good sleep is vital for every aspect of our lives. People that get enough sleep tend to have fewer health problems, are generally happier and more alert, and even live longer. Usually adults should get at least 7 hours of sleep every night, but every person is different. I know for myself that I do best with 8 or 9 hours a night, but I can still function, although not as well, on just 6 or 7 hours. Children, especially young children, should get even more sleep, usually 10 hours a night or more, depending on their age. And sometimes in this current difficult situation, we feel a little bit stressed. We're worried, we're thinking about our family members, we're thinking about maybe getting sick ourselves and what would happen, or we're thinking about our job. And so that can make it hard to fall asleep sometimes. So one way that we can help our bodies to fall asleep more easily is to try to keep a schedule of relatively similar hours of going to sleep at night and waking up in the morning. Some people do well if they fall asleep to music or some other white noise like a fan, while others, like me, prefer silence. Some people like a little bit of light, a little lamp. Others prefer darkness. It's important to know what your body and what your psyche needs in order to be able to fall asleep and stay asleep and get good sleep. If you're really having trouble falling asleep, one thing you can use is lavender oil. And you can get this up in the witches market over behind San Francisco, where they sell all the different kinds of oils. You can get lavender oil. And you can put a few drops on the bottom of your feet and a few drops on the back of your neck, and that can sometimes help us to fall asleep more easily. Another option is melatonin, which is a natural hormone. It's not a chemical pill, and you can get it at the pharmacy, and you can take 1 3-milligram pill about a half an hour before you go to sleep. It helps some people to fall asleep more easily, but it's natural. It's not chemical medicine. It's a natural remedy. Also, if you sleep with someone else, if there is someone else that sleeps in your room or in the bed with you, or even a pet, some people sleep with their pets, it's important to know how the other person, or maybe your dog or cat, how they sleep and what they do that might keep you from sleeping. So if someone else snores or makes noise when they sleep, you may want to get earplugs. Or if they move around a lot, maybe you should think about getting a bigger bed. But it's important to know what your body needs in order to fall asleep and stay asleep. So that is all I have. Those are my 4 tips. Number 1, liquids. Number 2, good healthy food. Number 3, exercise. And number 4, lots of good sleep. Does anyone have anything to add? Does anyone have any questions? Please, please, please feel free to say anything because that helps us to learn.
Hello, teacher. My name is
Hi.
Diego.
Yes.
Okay,
Hi.
I would like some advice for people who tend to procrastinate.
Like me, I'm such a procrastinator. Yes. Like I said, for sleeping, one good way to help ourselves if we tend to procrastinate, I tend to procrastinate, is to try to have a schedule. Just like a schedule can help us to fall asleep and then to wake up more easily in the morning. If we tend to have the same schedule every day, our bodies get used to it. In the same way, if we can make a schedule for ourselves, for example, try to always sit down in the afternoon at about 2 o'clock after lunch and work. So either I prepare my classes, I do some other editing work online, but I try to do it at the same time every day. I say, this is my work time. And that sometimes helps. Procrastination is hard because we find so many other things to do, and sometimes we don't do the most important thing. But if you can make a schedule, a rough schedule of the things you need to do every day, that might help. That was a great question. Anyone else have a question or a comment?
Sorry, I am
Yes,
Lucia.
go ahead. Hi.
Yes, I want to ask you something like maybe now, maybe some people didn't do exercises, and I don't know if you have an advice how we can add this routine in our lives.
Good, especially exercise. It's a little hard. I agree, especially because we are at home. Sometimes it's easy to go to a gym and then we exercise because we are at the gym. Or if we like to go running, we say, oh, I'll go running, but maybe it's hard now to go running. I think for me, 2 things helped me. One thing was looking up exercise videos on YouTube. Because there are so many different kinds, you can find something that you like. So if you like to dance, there are so many different videos on YouTube with exercises that are dances, salsa, bachata, different kinds of dances. And then there are many other kinds of exercise videos on YouTube as well. The other thing that helped me was to have my dog. So my dog does not let me not exercise, and that helps me. If you don't have a dog at home, sometimes if you have a partner to exercise with, even if you're not in the same physical space, even if you have a friend who lives somewhere else, and you can call them and say, hey, Maria, let's say at 3 o'clock every day, we will exercise. Even though we won't be in the same physical place, we can exercise at the same time. And that sometimes helps as well, to have a partner, to have someone else who helps you to get motivated to exercise.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks. That was a good question. Anyone else have a question or a comment? Maybe I forgot something. Anything you would like to add?
Excuse me, I'm Sarah, and I have a question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I wonder if you can advise us at what time would be the best to do exercise? Is it okay in the day, in the morning, or in the afternoon, maybe?
That's a very good question. I think it depends on what kind of exercise you would like to do. So if you would like to do a very heavy, very strenuous exercise, it's probably good to do it during the day. I find personally that if I want to do a very strenuous exercise, I try to do it in the morning because I have more energy. Maybe I'll have breakfast, and then at around 9 or 10 o'clock is sometimes a good time. But you could also do it in the afternoon. I think in the evening, it is good to get exercise, but it is sometimes better to get not as strenuous exercise in the evening. So taking a walk, or maybe washing clothes or cleaning, those are good exercises to do in the evening. You can do a strenuous exercise at night, it's okay, but I think for most people it's best if you want to do a very active exercise like running or an exercise video that's very, very strenuous, it's probably better to do it in the morning or in the afternoon. The only thing would be to be careful not to do an exercise right after you eat, because sometimes that can make you feel a little bit sick. But doing some exercise in the evening can help you fall asleep. So it's also good to do lighter exercises in the evening because then your body is a little more tired and sometimes you can fall asleep more easily.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Very good question. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to ask a question?
Hello, teacher. My name is
Yes,
David.
everybody. Hi, nice to meet you.
I have a question, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, a lot of people use it to lift weights, like me, and now the gym are closed, so we are losing, the muscles. So
Yes.
what kind of food we should eat
Oh, what kind of food?
or elements?
Yes. So if you are used to doing more strenuous exercise, like lifting weights or going to a gym and exercising with a machine, with a walking machine or a running machine, and now you can't, it is best to limit fat and sugar, unfortunately, because when you are exercising every day very strenuously, those are converted easily. But when you get less exercise, they more easily turn into fat in your body. Loss of muscle is hard. There isn't really a food that you can eat that will help you build muscle. Building muscle you have to do with exercise. So you can do sit-ups and push-ups. If you can run a little bit in your neighborhood, that can help to maintain your muscle mass. There are also exercise bands. They're like stretchy rubber bands. I don't know if you can buy something like that. Those can help to replace exercises like lifting weights. But as far as food, the best thing to do is to eat lots of fruit and vegetables, a little bit of meat, but mainly fish if you can. You can eat red meat, just small quantities. And try to limit fat and sugar. That would be the best.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Okay, I think we have to finish because our time is up. Anyone else have a last question? Okay, excellent. So I am going to, hi Anna, welcome, we're about to finish. I am going to put in the chat, I'm going to stop the recording first so I don't forget.